So this is the craziest thing that I've added to my home theater, and it's the best upgrade that you are ever going to make when building a home theater. And it's a 21-inch subwoofer by Power Sound Audio called the TV2112m. The M is for matte finish, and obviously it's a 21-inch driver, and it is ridiculous. I finally got my hands on this thing. I purchased one, and I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. I didn't want this to be a full review because I haven't had enough time with it, but I just wanted to give my initial impressions on this monstrosity of a subwoofer. And to preface everything I'm about to say, I am one who weeks ago felt that I did not need a subwoofer with my Polk R700 towers. I was very adamant about it. I posted on a couple of forums, a couple of pages about possibly not needing a subwoofer. Everyone was telling me I'm crazy, and I was like, no, I'm not. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to pull the trigger. This was about $2,200, I believe, and I was wrong. I was 100% wrong. It's on a different level. There's a different feel when it comes to a sub that goes this deep, and it can't be matched by tower speakers whatsoever. Now, I want to address the first thing I noticed about this subwoofer when it arrived, and it's the size. This thing is huge. I mean, I made measurements before I purchased it to see where it could fit in this current room. There's not an optimal place that I can actually put this subwoofer at the moment. It is currently to the left of me on the side wall by my feet, and it's 28.5 inches tall with the grill on, and it's just a beast. I mean, my wife came down here and her first words were, why? Why is it so big? And it's just hilarious because I thought the same thing, but I love it. I want that big industrial look. Now, this seems like it should not be in a home theater. In a good way, in my opinion. This looks like a commercial, very industrial subwoofer that could be, behind screens and hidden, something you may not see. And not that it's ugly. This is the kind of look that I actually wanted. I prefer the industrial home theater look rather than the flashy with, different kind of finishes and white finishes and etc. Now, I'll just do a quick rundown of some specs besides the measurements. Now, this is tuned to, I believe, as low as 14 hertz, and it goes down to as low as 10 hertz with in-room extension. Just means that when you get it in your room, the four walls, and depending on where you put it, it can get that low. The subwoofer runs 1920 RMS with a peak of over 4,000. So this can pull and push a lot of power. It weighs 150 pounds. Yes, 150 pounds. I had to call a friend over to drag this downstairs to my home theater with me because boxed up, it's almost 200 pounds. And it's just a solid beast. Power Sound Audio is a company who assembles everything in Ohio, and the owner's name is Tom. His last name starts with a V. I don't want to mispronounce it, but he apparently is the V in SVS in that brand. By the V in SVS, I mean, I believe he's one of the founders and one of the people who started or helped start the SVS brand. So he obviously branched off and created his own company, which obviously is Power Sound Audio. And that's what people mean when they say he's the V in SVS. And obviously he has a lot of experience in Power Sound Audio wasn't his first company. So that's pretty cool. Customer service is amazing. I've spoken through him through forums, through Reddit, just to get an idea of his company and some of the speakers and to see what everyone else always says about him. Every time you ask a question, they're always just like, just ask Tom. I'm like, yeah, let me just go ask the owner of this company. And it's actually a real thing. You could almost think that some people are being sarcastic, but no, it's real. And the company offers free shipping, a 60-day in-home trial. So I believe if you don't like something about it or if you want to return it, I think you will pay for the shipping to return it, but you're able to return it and get the rest of your money back. And then a bumper-to-bumper 5-year warranty. Bumper-to-bumper just means anything on the sub, in the sub, etc. Besides everything physical and the looks, I just want to talk about quickly how this sounds. Now, I have not watched a full movie. What I've been doing is testing scenes, testing known scenes that go very low, that kind of challenge the subwoofer. And the current settings that I have on it are the room, which you can go from small to large. I have it in the middle, and then the gain Yeah, obviously you can go from 0 to the highest gain, and I have that also in the middle. So I'm really not driving this. Everything's pretty even, and just watching a lot of scenes. And this shakes the floor, shakes the couch, shakes the first floor, and it shakes the second floor. And it's ridiculous. It's crazy in a good way. And I'm sure if you want to control all of that, you can, try to adjust the gain to try and not disturb members on other floors, but it's not really a problem for me. You would expect some crazy output from a subwoofer like this. This is a ported sub. I think I forgot to mention that, or slotted, ported. It has a slot at the bottom that obviously helps it push a lot of air. This bass will have you questioning if the walls and the foundation of your home are going to hold if you keep watching movies. And I'm really not exaggerating. Like, it's almost unexplainable. For me, I've never had a subwoofer before, but I am an audio engineer on the side, so I do understand good sound and good low end, and this sounded so amazing that it's really hard to explain. I had to bring a couple friends down here just to have them feel this subwoofer, because I tell them, hey, I bought a 150-pound subwoofer that's huge and it was over $2,000, and they just think I'm crazy until they come down here and listen to it, and they understand now what it does to a home theater. And I only have one, so I do plan on purchasing another one eventually, and I actually plan on purchasing a full set of their speakers. I want to get rid of these Polks, and I want to go full power sound audio just because I'm such a fan, and I want to hear the cinema grade quality of the rest of the speakers that they have, because they don't have just subwoofers. So that will get done hopefully this year. But like I said, I really haven't pushed this thing to its max. I think I'm not really going to. This is my subwoofer. I don't want anything to happen to it, and I just want to maybe push it to its limits just a slight bit, just to see what I can really get out of it. But I'm definitely not going to try to make this whatever they call it, chuff, or do anything crazy with the driver. I'm not interested in that, and I just want to experience the good output that it has. But some scenes that I tested, some Avengers Endgame fight scenes. There's a scene where Captain Marvel brings down Tony Stark at the beginning of Avengers Endgame, and as she's coming around the corner, you see Captain America looking at his mirror and it's shaking. That scene I didn't even know had bass. So now when I had my R700s and I watched that, I also didn't know it had bass until then. My R700s did show me low end. It's on a different level with the sub. I don't know how low that scene goes, but the sub was vibrating. Another scene is in the new Avatar Fire and Ash, when they're talking to the ancient orcs or whales. I'm not really sure what they are, and they speak in vibrations. Oh my gosh, those were just... I took the grill off of the sub just to watch that woofer just move everything, and it was amazing. At this point, there's really not enough good things that I can say about this subwoofer. It just made me really excited. I'm glad that I felt validated from my purchase. You don't want to purchase something that expensive, which is expensive to me, that expensive, and feel disappointed, which is a funny story, actually, because when I first plugged it in, I was disappointed. And I was like, I don't hear anything. I don't feel anything. What's going on? Is it a defect? I had the gain all the way down, so that is completely my fault. And once I turned it up, I was just like, oh, I'm dumb, and this is amazing, whatever. It just feels good that, I purchased from a good company, seems to be a good owner, and, there's forums where everybody communicates about these speakers and give their own testing and give their own test results, and you can see this sub and a lot of the other subs and speakers perform well in almost everyone's theater. Now, how I got to the point where I wanted to choose this sub is kind of different. I usually watch a lot of reviews, and I watched a lot of reviews on a lot of other subs. I don't live in an area where I have a showroom, or I don't live in an area where other people have home theaters that I can actually go sit and listen to or talk to about. There's no community here, and everything has to be done online. So I have to watch reviews and take other people's word for it. And, I was coming across SVS and RSL and other things, but there were a few videos, just a couple, about this subwoofer. And then there's a couple people in the forums and on Facebook pages that threw this name around, and I'm like, I've watched almost all the videos I could. I don't remember seeing this name, so I went to search it up more, and I figured out that you actually have to go into the forums, like on Reddit, Facebook, and AVS forums, to really understand these subs. And there's a couple other videos that all of the videos that I've seen have talked about this. They got a lot of views. They're apparently bad reviews, and after watching those creators, it's made me start to question their integrity and if they're really telling the truth about this sub and this company. The fact that this company does not offer free speakers for promotion or don't seem to really care about putting it in the hands of reviewers kind of intrigued me. It's kind of a certain cockiness that I like. Like, hey, we make a good product. I really don't need you to promote my product. It's kind of like if you know thing that this product will speak for itself when someone purchases it, and then it will speak and spread word of mouth from there on. And it's a kind of a cockiness that intrigued me and that I liked, and it makes sense, and they aren't wrong. There's heavy promotion from other brands like SVS, and it just kind of there was just so much. It kind of rubbed me off the wrong way. How much people have said they've received this speaker. Yes, I received this, I received this, I received this. And I'm like, geez, has anybody purchased this on their own? And almost every time you hear someone talk about this sub, they've purchased it on their own and they love it. And it just intrigued me. I mean, that's a reason why I'm making videos, because I want more trustworthy people out there who aren't bought and paid for. And it seems like a lot of these guys just sell. So, but anyway, like I said, I basically got into the forums and saw a couple of review videos of people who don't have big channels. They're just normal, and they were showing their, I mean, everyone's normal, but they were showing their setups and talking about the subs and how, what I just said, they watched a few videos that seemed to look bad. They just still took a gamble and it paid off. And I'm just like, F it, I'll do the same. I'll take a gamble, and it paid off. This is, I think, the best sub bang for buck, dollar for dollar, dollar for value sub you can get at this point. I mean, people take the sub and they want to compare it to JTRs, who are twice the price. And it's just, for one, the price differential is not fair. I don't, just based off what I see from other people, I don't think the performance is double the price. And, you know, this will do for me, and this definitely is no slouch. So it was a risk and a gamble that I'm glad I took, and I'm getting more of their speakers and another sub. And keep in mind, this is before I even watched a full movie. I already know I don't need to watch a full movie. I love this sub. That's it. And I can't wait to spend the week and the weekends watching crazy movies and sharing this space with other people. But in the future, I will make a more in-depth video and talk more about this sub, just a little bit more technical. I'll never be one to actually measure this and give a lot of technical specs and things like that. That's just not what I'm interested in. I'd rather tell you how I hear this and what I think about it, and try to translate it in a way where, you know, you're just a guy who wants to build a home theater and you want it to sound good. Maybe you want it to be the best of the best that you can get, dollar for dollar, etc. And you're not really interested in the educational or nerdy part of it and learning about all of the technical terms and the measurements and things like that. I mean, I think there's an in-between where you can be had, where, you know, you can be told that this is a good sub without all of the technical specs. So at the end of the day, as an audio engineer, I'm aware that numbers are just numbers, and you have to really trust your ears. You know, that's, audio engineers go by that. You know, they don't go by hard set numbers, and they trust what they hear. If you are sitting there questioning if you should get a sub, 100% yes. And if you should get two, 100% yes. If you should get one great sub and then upgrade to another, or adding another great sub later on, just because you don't have the funds to get two great subs right now, yes, that's kind of exactly what I'm doing. I'm getting one, can't afford a second one at the moment. I'm also building out the room, which is going to cost a couple $1,000. So around that time, I'll be able to purchase another sub. So I'd rather buy a great one now and get a great one later than two good subs right now. That's really it. Those are my first impressions of this. I mean, it's just a beast, absolute monster. Or I can't even believe I was thinking about getting a 15-inch subwoofer. Like, I would have wanted more and had to upgrade IDIS, and eventually led to this. So I might as well just get it right now. But yeah, if you have any questions about this subwoofer, please leave them in the comments below. I'll try to answer them, or I can lead you to other Reddit forums, Facebook groups, or the AVS Power Sound Audio sub thread on AVS forums. I'll introduce you to that. I'm new to forum type communication, so I was new to it. If anybody's curious about that, just let me know. And then, yeah, if you're into upgrades, home theater, tech, anything of that nature, please give me a follow, and I'll have a lot more videos out for you soon. I appreciate it.